Hey, welcome to today's Explainer. Look, we're jumping straight in today because we've got a highly urgent market analysis that you absolutely need to hear right now. If you've been keeping an eye on the tech world, you've probably noticed some pretty strange movements in how smartphones are being priced lately. Today, we're decoding a critical update from the telecom and mobile market that literally upends standard consumer logic. And honestly, this is going to affect pretty much anyone looking to upgrade their tech anytime soon. So let's just dive right into this.
So let me ask you a really direct question. Are you planning to buy a new mobile phone right now? Or actually, let me rephrase that. Are you holding off on that purchase? It's a super common strategy, right? You see a phone you like, but you tell yourself, I'll just give it a month or two. The price is totally going to drop. I mean, we've all been conditioned to think exactly that way. But based on the latest market observations we're unpacking today, that exact strategy, it might actually be the absolute worst possible move you could make right now.
Which brings us to Section 1, the waiting game, and exactly why delaying your purchase could seriously cost you. Historically, technology naturally gets cheaper over time, right? A flagship phone launches and, 6 months later, boom, it's on sale. But the current telecom and mobile market is aggressively flipping this rule totally on its head. The traditional waiting game is completely broken right now. Market observer Mohan MN 1996, who closely monitors all these shifts in the telecom industry, is raising a really stark warning. His quote from the source material is simple but incredibly direct. Please don't wait anymore. According to his analysis, the expectation that mobile prices are just magically going to drop in the coming days is completely misplaced. In fact, the probability is heavily skewed toward prices going up. Waiting around for a sale is, it's currently a deeply flawed strategy.
Let's get into the mechanics of this in Section 2, MRP versus MOP reality, and the hidden mechanics of mobile pricing.
To really understand why waiting is a huge mistake, we need to master two different price tags that every single smartphone carries, even if you only ever notice one of them at the checkout counter. First up, we have the MRP, or maximum retail price. This is the absolute highest printed price legally allowed for that device. It's that big number you see printed on the back of the box. But then we have the MOP, the market operating price. This is the actual price the phone is sold for in stores or online, and it is almost always lower than the MRP. That gap between the MOP and the MRP, that's where discounts live. It's the breathing room in the market. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly what is happening to that gap right now. The source notes a really alarming trend here. The MRP, that company-printed price we just talked about, is already increasing preemptively. Companies are actively pushing the ceiling higher. Meanwhile, the actual market operating price is rapidly shifting, and the gap between what you pay and that newly inflated ceiling is changing fast. By closely tracking these changes between the MRP and the MOP, observers can spot this invisible indicator of upcoming out-of-pocket costs for consumers. Simply put, when the ceiling goes up, you better believe the floor is eventually going to follow.
Moving on to Section 3, brands raising prices, and how this is happening entirely across the board.
Now you might be wondering, is this just one greedy company pulling a fast one? Is this just affecting ultra-premium phones, or maybe just the budget tier? Nope. Take a look at this list. Vivo, Oppo, Samsung, Redmi, Realme. The source explicitly identifies these massive brands to emphasize that this is a blanket market movement. Whether you're looking for a high-end Samsung or a budget-friendly Redmi or Realme, the observation remains exactly the same. The MRP has already been bumped up. This essentially means every single consumer currently shopping for a smartphone is facing the exact same headwind, entirely regardless of their brand loyalty.
The strategy behind the math here is honestly fascinating. According to the source, companies are fixing the MRP, keeping the upcoming price hike in mind. Think about that for a second. This is literally preemptive inflation. The manufacturers know that costs are going up, whether that's due to supply chain issues, component costs, or broader telecom industry shifts, and they are actively baking those future price hikes right into today's MRPs. They're laying the groundwork right now so that when the actual price you pay at the counter eventually goes up, it still magically sits legally under that newly raised maximum retail price ceiling. Wild, right? And that brings us to Section 4, the final verdict, and exactly what you need to do right now.
Okay, so we've seen the problem. The old rule of waiting for tech to get cheaper is broken. We've seen the hidden mechanics. The MRP is being artificially raised to prepare for higher actual consumer costs, and we've seen that it affects pretty much all the major brands out there. The advice derived directly from this market analysis is completely unambiguous. If you are planning to buy a phone, do not waste time. Buy as soon as possible. This is presented as a totally crucial piece of advice for consumers trying to protect their wallets. Literally every day you wait for a magical price drop that just isn't coming is a day closer to the market operating price catching up with that preemptively raised MRP.
I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Will you buy your phone today or risk paying the hidden price hike tomorrow? The mechanics of mobile pricing are shifting right beneath our feet as we speak. Understanding the silent relationship between the maximum retail price and the market operating price gives you a massive advantage as a consumer. If you found this explainer of the current market trends helpful, seriously consider your own timeline and maybe share this vital update with a friend who's currently playing the waiting game. Trust me, they might just thank you for saving them from tomorrow's price hike. Catch you next time.